Hey folks, welcome back to Star Wars, Delusions of Granular. I'm your host, Ron. And as always, we're a Star Wars podcast where we get granular with a Star Wars topic twice a week. Once on Monday, once on Thursdays, and that's when we release new episodes. Well, I keep saying we, but my co-host will be back very soon. We will get back on schedule, and we will be releasing new episodes where both of us are yakking it instead of one person. But till then, until we get that schedule worked out, just me. Well, folks, how are you doing? Are you getting through the anticipation for The Force Awakens like I am? Are we getting a little bit sick of all that's being released? Are we downloading the browser plugin to block all Force Awakens spoilers from leaking out? And how are we going to deal with spoilers as we move forward? I know that JP and I are going to be seeing the movie on the 17th, and I know we're going to want to talk about it. And I know we don't want to alienate the folks that, the listeners that haven't seen it yet, but we always, as we set out doing this podcast, we were always ones to not really care about spoilers because, well, it just didn't seem like there was a whole heck of a lot to worry about spoiling. But now that we have a big movie on the horizon, how are we going to get past that? I don't know, but we'll be figuring that out with everyone else, I guess. I know I'm going to be probably turning my computer off permanently. I mean, at least at the latest on the 17th, when people are overseas have been seeing it, possibly. I don't know when things are going to start to leak out, but it's got to be pretty soon. I don't know. We got a few weeks of safety, I think, and then it's going to be a rough water to tread here, and we'll figure it out, folks. We'll be monitoring the pulse of the internet to see what people are talking about and how they're going to be talking about the movie, and yeah. So new stuff is coming out. Looks like we're getting the second wave of novels. Well, I should say the second wave in the journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Looks like we're getting, between now, November 30th and December 6th, we're going to be getting some, it looks like a bunch of books here that are going to go into some of the side characters in the movie. This is what I'm looking at. Seems very reminiscent of the Tales of books that we've gotten in the past in the EU. Tales from the Cantina, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales of the blah blah blah. Looks like we're getting Tales from a Galaxy Far Far Away. We're getting a book, All Creatures Great and Small. We're getting another book called The Crimson Corsair and the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku. We're getting The Face of Evil, and I'm looking at just the covers of these, and I'm not entirely sure when these are coming out. But the covers are very. You'll see a lot of creatures that are very familiar if you've been keeping up with the trailers and behind-the-scenes videos that Disney and Lucasfilm have been putting out. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to kind of keep a little bit of a close eye on this. These look like they're all coming from a writer, Landry Q. Walker. Not entirely sure even if these are short stories or if they are full novels or if they're comic books or kids books. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but I do know one thing, folks. One short story has come out already, and that is what I'm going to be talking about today. Yeah, as you might have heard in the last episode, I spent a good portion of my Thanksgiving break reading, catching up with everything that's kind of slipped through the cracks as I was not being able to, having a life, folks, and having a full-time job. I was missing out on some of the comics and some of the books even. And, as it turns out, I almost completely lost this one, but a short story came out. And it's called Star Wars: The Perfect Weapon. It's by an author named Delilah S. Dawson. And this is a short story, a novella. I don't even know if we can call it a novella. It's really just it's a short story. It's like 6 pages long. And Miss Dawson is she's written some fantasy books in the past, but this is the first story, I believe, where we're actually diving into a new character that will possibly be appearing in The Force Awakens. This is if you a while back, I believe it was at San Diego Comic-Con, we got a 5-minute, 3 to 5 minute video behind the scenes showing quick glimpses of aliens and creatures that are going to be in the new movie. The subject of this movie, of this short story, The Perfect Weapon, is in that video, as well as the photo shoot from Vanity Fair. This character also makes an appearance there. She is a character by the name of Bazine. Am I getting that right? Let me look it up real quick. Yes, Bazine Netal. Bazine Netal is... Alright, so go to your videos, wherever you've bookmarked your videos for the Star Wars trailers and whatnot. This is the character. This is going to be hard to connect, but this is the character. She looks kind of like she's dressed like a jester of sorts. She's kind of all in black and gray. She's sitting on the lap of a rather large alien, and she looks rather... she looks rather emo to me, folks. A lot of black leather and black makeup, and I think when we all saw her originally, we were like, "What the heck is this?" It just seems kind of a little off for the Star Wars universe, but something new and something exciting. Not knocking it. Definitely looking forward to new things to challenge us as Star Wars fans. And so this is a short story about her story. We find out that this Bazine is a somewhat of a mercenary, kind of, I wouldn't say bounty hunter. She seems like she was mercenary for hire, I guess is the way to describe her the best. Somewhat of a lone wolf figure. She kind of operates, basically hired out. At the start of this book, she's kind of hired by a very ominous protocol droid who basically is set to explode or kill her if she does, whether she accepts the mission or not, the job, so to speak. And she accepts, of course, and kind of the story goes from there. So, as Roger Ebert once said, there's MacGuffins. And MacGuffins, folks, are the things that basically drive a story without really ever needing to be explained. And this book is big on the MacGuffin. Bazine Netal, kind of getting used to saying that, a new Star Wars name that's actually going to be connected to the movie. Bazine Netal is basically sent off on a mission to retrieve a type of briefcase, a box of some sort, and it's kind of a chase. There's possibly another party that's looking to retrieve this package as well, and Bazine goes. Like I said, she's a loner. Not a lot of people she can trust in this world. So she goes to her original master teacher, a man by the name of Delphi Cloda. And this is very reminiscent of the old boxing stories, or at least that's what the vision I got in my head of. Basically, she goes to the gym, and he's kind of the old seasoned veteran who kind of runs the gym, and he's kind of training the younger students, athletes, what have you, and she's the old student that's kind of come back to kind of reconnect with her old mentor, and she says, "Hey, look, I need your ship. I need to borrow your ship. Can I do that? No questions asked." And he's like, "Well, okay, but you have to take along another student, basically a young apprentice, and basically train him, and if you do that, you can take my ship. The ship is the name Sparrowhawk. Apparently there's birds in the Star Wars universe. There's falcons, sparrows, hawks, and we all name our ships after them. That's what I gather. Anyway, so she basically, is kind of stuck with this young kid, Ori Tenro, and he is really wet behind the ears. He doesn't really know much, but he does know how to. He's basically a hacker. He knows how to slice into different types of computer tech and whatnot, and really has no other redeeming abilities to be a spy or mercenary, but she takes him along, and she's like, "Look, I'll take him along as I don't have to tell him what I'm doing. Let him think that this is just basically a training session and not a real mission." And Clodagh is like, "Yeah, knock yourself out, whatever." So they go off and kind of end up going undercover. She is a master of disguise. That's definitely brought up in this book. I should point out that she has some scars on her head, so she wears this very tight black, not skull cap, but kind of like a hood, very skin tight. So, kind of giving some reason for her appearance. She's a bit of she's a bit of an attractive woman, but she definitely downplays it with her use of her appearance as far as her wardrobe and her basically everything she wears and what she she has on her person is very much to conceal weapons or armor or whatnot. She has all kinds of different weapons and bombs and knives and whatnot on her, and so they go off on this mission. I'm not going to go through all 66 pages of this book on a half-hour podcast, because I probably would. I'd probably talk about this book and give you every little detail in the amount of time it took to read this book in this podcast. So I will not do that, but I'll say this, that it's an interesting story. It definitely, like I said, it plays like a tale from the fill-in-the-blank books that we've gotten in the past. This could have easily been a part of an anthology series where we get more stories from other characters that are going to appear in The Force Awakens. It'll be interesting to see, is this character and her actions in this book, do they play a larger part in The Force Awakens? My money is no. My money on this is that this truly is just a character that appears briefly in the background, and they're just kind of coloring in the lines, coloring in the spaces, as we've gotten in the past with the EU. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe this character is the Boba Fett of the new trilogy. We don't know. But that being said, I believe this book does take place before for The Force Awakens. So again, we run into problems. We know that she's probably in The Force Awakens, as we've seen her in the behind-the-scenes footage. So we, kind of know she's not going to die in this book. We don't find out a lot more about this book. She does end up going to this fortress that's it's kind of like a beehive. It's kind of swarmed with these bee-like creatures or insect-like creatures that can sting, and the whole place is kind of covered in wax. And we find out that she, throughout the book, she doesn't really know who the bad guy is in this, who's the person that is out for this case as well. She feels like anybody could be the enemy. It could be this Ori kid. He could be the one to double cross her. And she kind of keeps her distance with this, and kind of at a certain point she kind of knocks him unconscious just so she can kind of go off and do her mission without having to worry as if this kid is against her or for her. Seems silly to not do this, but to spoil a 66-page book, sure, why not? Turns out the enemy is Clodagh. Clodagh turns out to be her mentor, kind of. She finds the package, and he's kind of hot on her heels and kind of double crosses her and traps her in one of these cells that's kind of all like I got the impression that it was like a honeycomb of wax, and she's kind of sealed in this wax honeycomb cell, and she kind of has to fight her way out, and Clodagh feels he's very cocky about himself and feels like he taught her everything she knew, and lo and behold, she had some other things up her sleeve, and that she was able to get training from elsewhere and hence become the perfect weapon. Yes, they actually do try to connect the title of this book into the story, and that she is the perfect weapon because she has gotten training to be deadly, not from just one person, but from other people. So that is this. It was a fun read. I didn't mind reading it. You can probably read it in an afternoon, folks. I bought it off of iTunes, the bookstore. I don't even know if you can buy a hard copy of this book, since it's like only 60 some pages. I imagine that the only place to really buy it is through your whatever digital device store of your choice. This does feel very much like these kind of the short stories that we've gotten in Star Wars Insider. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that this one is being sold on its own and not a part of the magazine. But maybe it's because it's The Force Awakens and they just felt like, hey, we can... Oh no, I'm not going to get negative there, and I was about ready to be like, hey, we can milk the fan for a few bucks here. And no, they wouldn't do that, right, folks? No. Yeah, so this one snuck up on me. I read it really quick. I'm going to try to do my best to kind of keep track of these other books that are coming out possibly this week. So looks like there'll be more to talk about in the next few episodes. So... well, there you have it, folks. The perfect weapon, Bazine Netal, a character that we may need to be paying attention to in the movie, or maybe not. I don't know. But we've seen her. We've seen her in pictures. We've seen her in video, and she's part of the Force Awakens. So we will find out very, very, very shortly. All right, folks. As always, my name is Ron, and this is Star Wars Delusions of Granular. You can find all of our episodes, links to our show notes, what I write about the show, which is by no means comprehensive notes of the show, but you can find everything, including how to contact us, at delusionsofgranular.com. That's GRANULAR.com. Yes, that's how websites work. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/SWDOG. look for us there. We're always kind of posting the latest episode and whatnot on that site. The Facebook site, that is. Also on Twitter at SWDOG77. You can also call us 651-337-9364. That's 651-33-SWDOG. And you can leave us a message. That'll take you right to our hotline. We do not pick up the phone, so don't worry about actually talking to a real person. No, you can just leave a message. Basically, shoot off your mind, whatever you want to tell us. Tell us that we're constantly getting things wrong. Tell us we're a bunch of idiots. Tell us that, hey, we're good guys and we know what we're talking about sometimes. Whatever, we'll take it. Any kind of feedback is always greatly appreciated. And if you just don't like to talk to people, you're shut in, and you just rather not deal with the outside world, well, I'm right there with you, folks. No, email us then. Email us at swdog77@gmail.com. That'll take you to our email, and you'll be able to, I'll read our emails all the time, and if I like what I hear, I'll use it on the show. And as always, folks, if you're listening to this, you've probably already figured it out, but you can subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher. You can leave us a review, but we really don't care about the reviews on there. They don't really get us a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. But what is important is if you like the show, if you like hearing me and or JP talking about Star Wars and getting granular with things, please recommend us to your friends. It's pretty easy. Just, hey, these guys, they talk Star Wars. And they're mostly not negative about Star Wars. And, they're a good time. So, I recommend us. So, if you have friends, they like podcasts, they like Star Wars, tell them to listen to us. Alright, folks, that's about it for today. I'm out of things to talk about right now. I'm just, when am I getting in line for The Force Awakens? Is anybody doing that yet? I don't know. I'm out of it for right now. So, until next time, stay granular.
Say I'm sorry, I'm unashamed. I'm gonna show my scar to the chair.